Hey there everybody, Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of our What's Hot show, where we talk about some of the latest and greatest releases in the worlds of progressive rock, heavy metal, progressive metal, jazz, fusion, classic rock, hard rock. As you know, we do it all here at the Sea. We've also got a Forgotten Favorites at the end, where I take a look at a maybe old classic or more recent classic, that's classic to me anyway, that kind of maybe fell under the radar to the majority of folks. I always like to kind of point out some real cool stuff that I like that maybe most people haven't heard of. So let's get started with the new releases. Got a bunch of them here today. So the first one I want to dive into is the latest from Jake E. Lee's Red Dragon Cartel, Patina. Okay, there's the guys right there, Jake and company. Of course, Jake E. Lee, former lead guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne, former lead guitarist for the great band Badlands also. So this is the second Red Dragon Cartel album. First one came out a couple of years ago. I thought was really, really solid. This latest one is really solid too. What I liked better about this one, and this was a grower for me. The first time I listened to this, I was kind of like, it's okay, you know, but the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. What I really like about this album is I think it brings the sound of the band a little bit closer to that classic Badlands sound, as opposed to the kind of like the more commercial kind of hard rock and metal on the debut. I think this is a very, very solid album. Some great gritty guitar work from Jake E. Lee on here. A really, really underrated player, and I think he really hones in on that kind of dark, kind of heavy blues rock sound that Badlands did so well. So a really, really hot album. Hot tracks on here. Speed Bag. I love Havana. It's probably my favorite tune on here. Crooked Man is great. Punch Clown is great. Chasing Ghosts is great. A lot of really solid songs that I dig quite a bit. So Red Dragon Cartel, Patina. Check it out. Next, we're going to go on to an album that came out so late in the year. In fact, there's a bunch of the ones I'm going to talk about here came out really late in the year, and I didn't get a really good chance to listen to them until the last week or two. And so they didn't, in some cases, they didn't make my top picks of the year, only because I just had to get that list together a couple weeks ago and finalize that, and then this stuff came out. So this one specifically, I love a lot. I've been really digging into it the last couple days since I've got it. Probably easily would have made my top 25. The latest from Metal Church, Damned If You Do. Let's get some glare off of there. There we go. A really, really fine album. They had an album a couple years, about 2 years ago, 11 XI, which was damn good and an amazing return for the band. And let's see, let me tell you who's on this album, right? Because, of course, you've got, Mike Howe, who's back singing lead vocals once again for the band. Been here for a couple of years now. Welcome back once again, Mike. Kurt Vanderhoof, of course, on guitars. Rick Van Zandt on guitars. Steve Unger on bass. And Steve Howland on drums. So just a really, really great album. A lot of cool riffs. Mr. Howe is singing up a storm. Again, just got this, so I'm still digesting it, but I've listened to it a bit, and I really, really dig it a lot. Here's another one. This one just squeaked into my top list of the year. I think it's just a damn good album with damn good songwriting, great singing, great guitar playing. It's The Devil's Hand featuring Mike Slammer, of course, from City Boy and Streets and a whole shitload of other stuff. Great guitar player, writer, and arranger. And Andrew Freeman. Andy Freeman's a local Hudson Valley, New York guy that everybody here knows. He also is the lead singer for Last in Line. So here is a project between the two of them. If you like the first couple Foreigner albums, maybe like vintage Bad Company, maybe like the Joe Turner Rainbow stuff, you will love this. Man, the hooks are amazing. Andy sounds great on vocals. It's just like he was born to sing this kind of stuff. And of course, Mike's guitar work and songwriting is just excellent as always. A really damn good album. If you like good AOR/melodic rock, this is great. Man, in a perfect day and age, this hits all over this album. Love it. All right, next up, Wasteland from Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. Quite frankly, I had no idea this even came out this year. Just found out about it recently. Just picked it up. Just got it a couple days ago. I've listened to it a couple times. I dig it. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, kind of like a Doom meets pop band, I guess. Kind of, well, maybe a little psych pop and Doom. And I think this one is a little darker, a little more serious than their last couple albums. I do like it. There's plenty of doom on here. It's pretty heavy in spots. I like it. Need to spend more time with it, but pretty damn cool. Uncle Acid. I like it. Here's one that, again, came out very, very late in the year, and I just didn't get my hands on it in time. And it's called Shadow Work. Dark cover on here. And this is the last ever recordings from Warrel Dane and his solo band. This is really good. And again, another one of those albums that easily would have made my best of the year list if it wasn't for the fact I just got it way too late. Heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. Really cool booklet here. Oh, stuff falling all out here. Warrel's vocals are great. Man, is he missed, huh? What a talent. But if you like, the Nevermore stuff, or even the heavier Sanctuary material, this is heavy. Killer riffs on here. Just barnstorming, bulldozing stuff. Great American metal. Here's one that did make my list, because I got this about a month ago, and I'm loving it. Self-titled from Pale Divine. Great doom trio from here in the U.S. Okay, this is on Shadow Kingdom Records, who are very good at pumping out a lot of really cool stuff. Man, if you like real kind of like psychedelic doom with bits of early Sabbath and specifically Pentagram, if you love that early Pentagram stuff or even more current Pentagram, man, you're going to love this. Power trio stuff at its best. Bulldozing, heavy, fuzz-laden riffing and wah-wah solos and really cool vocals and pounding rhythms. Just one headbanger after another on here. I dig this a lot. Huge sounding out. Pale Divine. They've got a few albums out to their credit. I highly recommend you check them out. Last but not least, we're going to stay on the doom thing. Actually, no, we got one more after this and then Forgotten Favorites. This is the latest from Eric Wagner. Most of you know from fronting Trouble for all those years, right? Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to read this stuff. The Endless Road Turns Back from the Skull. This is Eric's band that he put together after leaving Trouble. It's basically just like Trouble, right? Not much different. Crushing classic sounding doom. So if you love Sabbath and Pentagram and Candlemass and Cathedral and Trouble, you're going to love this. Big, huge, enormous riffing. Wagner's great vocals. Just a fantastic album that, again, would have made my best of the year list if I would have gotten it a little sooner. I only just got this a couple days ago. Had a couple listens in already, and I totally love it. Totally love it. All right, we're going to switch over to books, right? Or a book in particular. This is from a guy who's been very prolific in recent years with pumping out some really, really great books on hard rock and metal bands and genres and songs and all sorts of things like that. I'm talking about Martin Popoff from Brave Words and Bloody Knuckles. This is his Led Zeppelin book, all the albums, all the songs. Okay, pretty thick book, really nice book. As you know, I've talked a lot about Martin's stuff in the past, but I want to really give him some props here and some kudos. As you can see, a lot of cool photographs, tons of them, vintage stuff. What's really great about this book, and again, it doesn't deviate from his normal kind of format, which is to talk about the albums and specifically the songs. If you want to read about all the dirt and all the sex, drugs, and rock and roll that's attached to the Led Zeppelin myth, there's plenty of other books out there, and they're all good. They talk about all the women, all the drugs, all the boozing, all the stuff that was going on behind the scenes, the shenanigans, and Peter Grant beating up press people and all that kind of stuff. You can go a lot of other places for that. However, if you want to just read about the albums, album by album, but more specifically song by song. Literally what he does in this book is every page, and sometimes you get multiple pages for a song, is dedicated to a song from an album. So you get so it starts from the beginning, goes all the way through to Coda, right? So you get basically a nice, usually 2-page synopsis on the album as a whole, including production information, where they recorded it, all that kind of stuff, along with Martin's opinions on the songs in the album. And then you get a breakdown, song by song by song. So every page, or in some cases 2 or 3 pages, depending on the song, you'll get a full, lot of info on that particular song, all the way down to some really minute details. And I know Martin had some help with some other folks to really, really make this a kind of geek's wet dream for all things Zeppelin. So you're talking like info on, amps and guitars and effects that Page used, and, maybe like alternate the tunings that they use for some of this stuff, all the different instruments that, John Paul Jones used, all that kind of stuff, where the songs were recorded, how they recorded it, interview snippets with producers, and all sorts of stuff. So if you're not so much into all the little details about every song from every album, this may not be for you. But however, if you're kind of like a music geek like me and you really want to know all those juicy details about what went into making these albums and creating these songs, including like info on, maybe some of the older musicians and songs that the band borrowed to create, especially some of their earlier stuff. It's all here. And it's just fascinating reading. It's a quick read. I mean, it's a big book, but if you love Zeppelin, you're not gonna be able to take this, tear yourself away from this. And the photographs are amazing. And I mean, just look at this. And it's just incredible stuff. It's a gorgeous book, chock full of stuff. I mean, it does not get much better than this. So I say to you, Martin, job well done. And I like a lot of your books. This probably shot all the way to the top of the mountain because it's just so gorgeously laid out, put together, and expertly written for, the music fan like me, who just really, really, as much as you think you know about Zeppelin and all the albums and the songs and all that kind of stuff, you never can know enough. And I think Martin has made sure to get as much of that information for every Zeppelin fan and put it right in one volume. So nice job, Martin. Last but not least, Forgotten Favorites. So again, where we look at some favorites of mine from either a long time ago, more recently, whatever, that kind of maybe have fallen under the radar or forgotten about from the majority of folks. Today we're going to go to Sweden. We're going to go to Prague, I guess kind of Prague. Samla Mammas Manna from 1973. Very cool album. This band, very underground band, but you get a lot of folks who are really, really, really into 70s Prague, of course, love these guys. And this is probably their best album, or one of their top 2 or 3. Kind of hard to describe these guys. Instrumentally, they were geniuses. And if you like kind of that Frank Zappa, his like jazz fusion period, a lot of that going on here. So you got like all sorts of crazy time signature changes and intricate arrangements, guitar and electric piano and intricate rhythms. They do some vocals as well. The vocals are a little off the wall, kind of like circusy music type of thing. But when they get down and just play, man, they can rip it up with some, complex prog and jazz. It's just really, really good stuff. And this is a reissue. It's got a couple bonus tracks, but the album as a whole, damn good. Believe when they do sing, not every song has vocals, but when they do sing, it's in Sweden. But it doesn't even matter because the music is so frenetic and crazy. It's like the vocals are kind of the same, so it's just like flying all over the place. So a very, very good album, Maltid by Samla Mammas Manna, my forgotten favorite today from 1973. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube. Got lots of great stuff coming up. We have more top 10 songs coming up this week. A lot of bands I'm working on. We have got my top 10 of 2018. So I'm going to do my part 3 of the top 30 releases from 2018. So you've already seen my 21 through 30 and then my 11 through 20. I'm going to do my 1 through 10. That's coming up later today, where I put a cap on the year that was 2018. It's been a great year in music. If you want to see my full top 60, we'll be posting all the writers at Sea Tranquility's top picks of the year on the website later this week, so you can see everybody's favorites of the year and all that kind of good stuff. So, top albums and concerts we've been to and live releases and so on and so forth, reissues and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll see you real soon, guys. Take care.